I will show you how to use TradingView as a complete beginner, so stay tuned. So step 1, you want to type in TradingView on your web browser, and then you want to head to the first one, which is basically www.tradingview.com. Now once you're here, you want to head to the top where you have more. So once you click on more, you want to scroll down to where you have downloads. Now here in downloads, as you guys can see, we have the desktop application and then we have the mobile application. So you want to click on the one that is suitable for you. So for my sake, I'm going to be using the desktop application because I'm using a PC. So now you want to scroll down and select the exact type of PC you're using, that is the operating software. So I'm going to go for Windows over here. So you want to go for the one that is suitable for you. So now once you click on it, as you guys can see, what would happen next is your TradingView application would be downloaded. Now after downloading, the next thing you want to do is to install the application. And then after installation, you simply want to open your TradingView application itself. Now, once you open the TradingView application, the number one thing you want to do is to create your own personal account for TradingView. And to do that, you need to head to the top where you have these three dashes, click on it, and then scroll down to where you have sign in. Now, obviously, you don't have an account yet, so you want to come to the option where you have do not have an account, sign up. So you just want to click on it and then it's going to take you to a web browser where you're going to be signing in or creating your account properly. Now, in case you have a Google account, in order for you to make it faster, just simply continue with your Google account or select any other option that is suitable for you to create your own account. Now, once you finally signed in or you signed up, then you'll be brought properly inside the TradingView application. Now, starting with what we have at the top of the screen for TradingView. We have the area where you can search for the particular symbol you want to trade. For example, here we have gold USD. So if you're someone who trades forex, for example, you can type in USD JPY or whatever pair you want to trade. And then once you type in, all you simply have to do is to click on it. So automatically it's going to take you to the chart of that particular pair. That's the first thing. Now, if you scroll towards the right hand side, still at the top, we have what we call time frames. It simply shows the time it takes for a candlestick to open and close. For example, now we're in the 15-minute time frame. Now, it simply means that each one of these candlesticks you're seeing right now ranges within 15 minutes. For example, let's say we're at 6 o'clock. That is, a candlestick would open around 6 o'clock and that same candlestick will close when it's 6:15, and then it continues. A new candlestick would open at 6:15 and then close at 6:30, and then another candlestick opens at 6:30 and closes at 6:45. That's basically how the 15 minutes works. Same thing applies if it's a 1 hour. That is, each candlestick, for example, one opens at 6 o'clock and closes at 7 o'clock, and then the other opens at 7 o'clock and closes at 8 o'clock, and then continuation. It all depends on the time frame you select. Each one of this time frame has the same definition. Now, moving towards the right hand side again at the top, we have the candles over here. Now, depending on the style you want, if you want it to be candlestick, just like what you're seeing over here, these are basically candlesticks, then you can leave it as candlesticks. But if you want it to be bars, then you can select bars, as you guys can see over here. And then if you want it to be volume candles, and if you want it to be lines, depending on what you want. But I'm very much comfortable with the candlesticks itself. Now, towards the right hand side, we have indicators, which are basically telling you or whatever type of indicators you want to use so as to give you proper analysis on the chart itself. But then you don't really need to worry too much about indicators. Now, moving towards what we have at the extreme right at the top of TradingView, we have the area for settings itself. Let's say you want to change the color of your candlesticks or you want to change the color of your chart itself. This is the area where you can do so. And then in case you just want to add some extra canvas designs or extra canvas colors, then this is the area you can as well do that. Now, moving towards the right as well, in case you want the full screen mode, you just want to select this and then you have the full screen mode. And in case you want to take it back to the normal mode, just simply click on escape. And then now the next thing here is to screenshot or take a snapshot of your chart itself. Very easy. Once you click on it, as you guys can see, you can download an image, you can copy the image and whatever option you're suitable with. Now, let's continue from the extreme right hand side. Over here, we have what we call watch list. The use of this watch list is in case you have certain pairs you want to trade. For example, over here, I have gold, I have USD JPY or USD CAD, and then I have Bitcoin. So in case you want to have your particular list of trading pairs, you don't want to have to come here to be searching for the pair you want to trade, then this is the area where you can set up all what you trade. So all you simply have to do is to click on this plus icon over here, and then you can start adding as many pairs you want to be trading, so as to ensure that yes, you're sticking with the trade pairs you actually trade. So for example, in case you trade USD JPY, you can just type in USD JPY and then click on this plus icon. It's going to add to your list. And then let's say you trade Bitcoin, for example. You just want to simply click on this plus icon over here. And then as you guys can see, everything is going to be added over here. So now for you to be able to switch between all the pairs you trade, just simply click on the direction up. As you guys can see, it's going to be following your watch list. You don't have to struggle to be searching for pairs anymore. Now let's continue from what we have at the left hand side, extreme. Now the first one here is the cross. This is basically you just dragging, looking through the charts with the cross icon. All right, this is in case you just want to look through, you're trying to analyze, just seeing what is happening with this cross line. Now the next thing over here is the trend line and other line pairs. So once you click on this particular arrow, as you guys can see here, we have the trend line. So once you click on trend line, you can use this to draw trends, okay, especially if you're a trend line trader. Okay, how the trend line simply works is by you trying to use the trend line to match a minimum of about 2 points. You can do it from the bottom or you can simply just do it from the top, depending on your strategy. But that's not the purpose of today's video. Now, as you guys can see, we have other line tools over here. We have the horizontal line in case you want to draw horizontal lines. Okay, we have the raise itself. You want to mark a particular spot and then take it towards the extreme. All right, and then we have several other line tools over here. So this is the area where you can use whatever line tool you're most interested in. Now, for you to simply delete all what you've done on the TradingView chart, just scroll down to where you have this delete icon. Click on delete and then remove all drawing or remove the particular drawing you want. I'm going to be removing all drawings. So as you guys can see, we're back to the fresh chart. Now, after the line area, we have the next one, which is basically the Fibonacci retracement tool. So this is the Fibonacci retracement. A whole lot of people do use the Fibonacci retracement as well, just to simply mark out spots and see the possibilities of the trend going towards one of these lines. For example, once I mark this area, I'll mark the recent high as well. So as you guys can see, we have a whole lot of candlesticks bouncing on one of these lines over here. It's being used simply to have a prediction of the possible areas where your candlestick might bounce to before it starts going back towards an uptrend, and if it's a downtrend, the possible areas where your candlestick might go up and start going back towards the downtrend. So for example, as you guys can see, this is an uptrend. It went up, it came back down to this area, and then it continued. It continued, and then same thing happened here. We have the red bouncing, goes up. It's always bouncing on one of these lines. So a whole lot of people do use this as the strategy, but it all depends on what you want to use it for and if you even want to use it. Now that's for the Fibonacci area. And then after the Fibonacci area, we have another area which is basically the forecasting tool. Now, in case you finally seen your strategy and you're about to place a trade, with this particular forecast tool, you can use either the long position, which is basically you setting your entry. This middle line signifies where you entered from. Then this up signifies where you're aiming for your take profit. And then this red signifies your stop loss. So once you're ready, you can as well use this if you're taking an up trade. And in case you're taking the opposite, you can as well come here to the short position. Then as you guys can see, it's the opposite. Your stop loss this time will be at the top, This middle line signifies your entry, and then this extreme down line signifies your take profit in a sell trade. Now, like I said, in case you want to delete everything, just simply come back here to the delete and then remove all the drawing. Now, the next things we have here is basically brushes, arrows, shapes, depending on whatever you want to use. If it's a brush, just like a normal brush, you want to teach someone something on the chart, or let's say you're having a class and you want to be able to, just draw something for your students or people that are watching your videos, then you can use this brush. And then aside the brush, we have the arrows itself. Let's say you want to mark out, significant areas on your chart, or you want to mark out areas you're spotting on your chart, then you can use this arrow. And do not forget that you can as well change the colors of these arrows. To simply do that, just click on the arrow and then come here to the color itself. So this is the area where you can change the color. Feel free to explore TradingView as it is made up of several tools and several procedures for several things on the chart itself. Now, aside the arrows, we have the areas for shapes. We have rectangle in case you want to mark out consolidation areas. Consolidation areas simply means areas where the candlestick or your line or the prices itself is just going up and down within a particular price. For example, let's look for an area on the chart where the price was just going up and down. Look at this area over here. We can simply use the rectangle here to mark out this consolidation area. You can see price was just going up and down within this area. This is basically consolidation. So a whole lot of people do use this rectangle as the strategy. They wait for the price to break out, retest, and then the buy. It all depends on whatever your strategy is. But then this is mainly what people use rectangle for. And then we have other, tools over here. We have parts. Let's say you want to teach people something, a breakout, retest, and the rest. This is basically the part for you to draw what you're looking towards. And then let's just delete everything over here. Now again, we have the circle. A whole lot of people do use this to spot out areas just like the arrow itself. But then, like I said, you can as well, use whatever you want for whatever thing you want to use on the chart. It all depends on you. You need to create your own particular method. Now, aside the shapes area, we have the text too. This is in case you want to write something on the chart. KidCast YouTube, subscribe. Okay. And then aside the text itself, at the bottom, we have the area for icons. A whole lot of people do not even use this. This is just basically icons, emojis, and the rest. But yeah, this is a complete tutorial. So this is it over here. Now, the next thing over here that is very important is the zoom in feature. In case you want to zoom in on your chart, just click on it and then zoom the area. As you guys can see, it zooms so much. And in case you want to zoom out, just click on the zoom out icon over here. In case you want to zoom in, just click on zoom in, click on the area you want to zoom in. All right. And then, in case you want to zoom out as well, just click on zoom out. But then it's not always compulsory to use that too, as you can simply come to the bottom here where you have the plus or the minus, and this is even way more easier to use. The next most important thing here is this tool, which we call the hiding drawings. In case you're teaching people something or you're trying to analyze and you have students, you have a Telegram group, after you've done a whole lot of drawings on your chart, for example, let's use the trend line because I'm actually a trend line trader. So let's say you're using a trend line. If I was to trade gold right now, I would actually be buying. Okay, so I'm basically just going to draw this, take this up, just mark out these areas. So as you guys can see, ideally, I would be buying right now because there's a breakout. All right. So then, in case you're finally ready to show your students to buy or whatever, you can use this tool to hide your drawing. So once I click on it, as you guys can see, the drawings are no longer showing. And then once I click on it again, the drawings are back. And then finally, the last one here, which is to delete all. So that's basically how to use TradingView. These are basically the simple tutorial on how to properly use TradingView. And just one last thing I didn't make mention of is the dark mode. In case you like the dark mode like me, or in case you want the bright mode of the view itself, just come here to where you have those three dots. Then once you click on the main menu, you're gonna see light mode, you're gonna see dark mode. You want to select whatever option you're okay with. And that brings us to the end of today's video. If you surely learned a whole lot and you're really glad you found this video, do not forget to subscribe and also drop a like on the video, and feel free to share this video with your friends and family members or whoever you feel should watch this video right now. And I'll see you guys in my next highly informative video. Thanks for watching.